The only thing I do have is a text message from her telling me 3 times that I can keep my kids and stay out of her life and she don't want them. I've been trying to get my kids for years.
Are you requesting that the father pays child support for the child Francesca,
Yes.
even though the child is currently living with the father? Is that correct?
Yes.
Child support should be set at $893 per month. Are you in agreement to that amount, sir?
That's Lonnie Mims and Gina Todora. Please unmute and turn on your cameras. You both swear testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes,
Yes.
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe this is a partially agreed order. The state will request to read into the record what has been agreed to by the parties. The parties agree that the father in this matter is currently employed and making at or about $25 an hour, 36 hours per week. The parties agree that that there has been no family violence. The parties agree to continue the non-disclosures from the prior order into this matter. The parties agree to no geographical restriction. And I believe that is the extent of the agreements. So at this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the mother in this matter. Ma'am, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Yes, it's Gina Todora.
And can I get you to state the name of the child or children that we're here in reference to?
Yes, Dominic Mims and Francesca Mims.
And who do the children currently reside with?
Before we even dive into today's courtroom hearing, you need to understand that this case is shaping up to be one of those situations where nothing is as simple as it first appears. At first glance, it might seem like a routine child support dispute. But as the testimony unfolds, the story quickly becomes far more complicated. On one side, we have a mother claiming that the father essentially took their daughter and refused to return her, and she's asking the court to step in, enforce custody, and even set child support.
He took her and he will not give her back.
And the child, Dominic, is currently living with the father. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And how long has Dominic been living with the father?
Since October of 2023.
And is it your request today that the child, Francesca, be returned back to you?
Yes, sir.
And what steps, or if any, have you taken to get the child, Francesca, returned back to you?
I've looked into enforcing the initial court order where the custodial order of joint custody is in place. I have talked to Francesca. She claimed that she wanted to finish the school year out there and that once school was over, she would like to come back.
Right. And are you requesting that the father pays child support for the child, Francesca,
Yes.
even though the child is currently living with the father? Is that correct?
Yes. Well, he owes arrears.
I'm just asking about child support going forward, ma'am.
Yes. Well, when she comes back home, I would like for him to pay.
All right, just one moment. And if child support was to be ordered based off of the father's income, the state has calculated child support in the amount of $893. Are you in agreement to that amount?
Yes.
And as it relates to the medical, how do your children currently receive insurance? Is it through the state or through your employer?
Yes, I carry them through the state.
And just confirm you have both children through the state. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are you requesting that the children continue to receive the insurance through the state?
As long as, if he doesn't have a way to carry them, I would like to continue to carry them through the state.
And the state has calculated, based off the father's income, with both children receiving state medical, that the father should pay a total of $390 per month. Are you in agreement to that amount?
Yes, sir.
All right. And as it relates to the child support arrears, the state has calculated child support arrears in the amount of
Right away, something here stands out as unusual. The court is discussing child support for a child who is currently living with the father. Typically, child support is paid by the parent who does not have primary physical custody. So when the mother asks for support while the child is residing with the father, it raises a legal and practical question. Is she expecting the child to return to her soon? Or is this more about establishing financial support for the future? Courts usually focus heavily on where the child actually lives when determining support obligations. So the judge will likely need to sort through not just the financial numbers being presented, but also the actual living situation of the children.
And Your Honor, the state would like to offer into evidence what will be marked as State's Exhibit 1, which is a copy of the pay record. May we share the screen at this time, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just one moment. This is a pay record here in this matter, and as of, there, March 31st, 2024, the actual calculation for the child support arrears are in the amount of $15,924.47. Are you in agreement to that amount, ma'am? And do you see that?
Yes, sir.
However, you are in agreement to provide some possession credits. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your Honor, the state is requesting that this be admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 1, which is again the pay record in this matter.
State Exhibit 1 is admitted.
And may I stop sharing my screen at this time, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And as it relates to the, just one moment here. As it relates to the credit, you are requesting that the father only be provided with 3 months of possession credits. Is that correct?
For Francesca, and then I think it would be 6 months for Dominic.
And that would be a calculation of $14,796.47. Are you in
Yes,
agreement
sir.
to the father paying that back at $130 per month?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand? I'm sorry, just one moment here. 1 second. And as it relates to the conservatorship, are you requesting that the parties be named as joint managing conservators?
Yes.
And just to confirm, as it relates to the possession of the child Dominic, are you in agreement to the father continuing to have possession of that child?
Yes, sir.
And you're just requesting that the child, Francesca, reside with you. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And was that previously ordered in your prior divorce decree?
No, it was, I had custody of both of them primarily with joint custody.
Okay, thank you. Now, as it relates to the visitation, are you in agreement to the father having a standard visitation agreement with the child, Francesca?
Absolutely.
And would you be requesting that you have a standard visitation agreement with the child, Dominic?
Yes.
And are you in agreement to the father paying the court costs associated with this matter today?
Yes, sir.
All right. I believe that is the extent of the issues that are before the court. Do you have any additional information that you'd like to offer to the court as it relates to this case?
No, just I want my daughter back home.
And as it relates to your daughter leaving, you said that you haven't necessarily taken any steps through the court to have the child return back home. Is that correct?
That's correct. I did not go to the court to get an enforcement.
And did you contact the police to have the child return home?
Yes, I did.
And what happened with that?
I called Saxe Police Department, which is where I was residing, and they basically told me that they could do nothing because there could possibly be another custody agreement that they don't know about. But what I was told from someone.
Now the court begins establishing the basic framework of the case, confirming employment, income, and whether there have been any allegations of family violence. These details might seem routine, but they actually play a huge role in family court decisions. The father's income, for example, around $25 an hour at roughly 36 hours per week, is exactly the type of financial information courts use to calculate child support obligations. These calculations are usually based on state guidelines, which attempt to estimate how much financial responsibility each parent should carry.
Sir, can I get you to unmute yourself and state your name for the record?
My name is Lonnie Mims.
And Mr. Mims, did you hear what I previously read into the record that was agreed to by the parties?
Are you talking about those?
Sir, are you in agreement that there should be no geographical restrictions?
Correct. Agree with that. Yes.
Are you in agreement that there has been no issue relating to family violence?
Correct.
And are you in agreement for the non-disclosure to continue into this matter?
Correct.
As it relates to the child, Dominic, that child is currently residing with you, is that correct?
Yes.
And the child, Francesca, she is currently residing with you as well, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how long has Dominic been residing with you, sir?
In October the 11th.
Of what year, sir?
I'm sorry? Oh, 2023.
And as it relates to the child, Francesca, how long has that child been residing with you?
January. of 2023.
2023 or 2024, sir?
I apologize. 2024. My apologies.
And did the child run away and begin living with you?
No, there was a call that was made to me from her at night, just due to a lot of the activity that goes on at her house, and me as all parents protect their kids that we're supposed to do. So the stuff that she exposed to me was concerning, and she asked me if I could pick her up from school because she had a mental breakdown. So when I picked her up from school, I gave her the weekend to relax before I asked her what's going on, because you just can't say you can't go back home. It doesn't work like that. So I asked her to write what was the concern was before she go home, so I know. And what she wrote down, if y'all like me to explain what she wrote down on the reason why I kept her, and I called all the necessary police departments, they told me to protect my kid.
All right, and just to
So
confirm, sir, the mother never gave you permission to get the child. Is that correct?
correct, but I do get them every weekend though. Every
All right.
weekend there's already understanding that I pick them up every weekend.
And has the mother attempted to get the child placed back into her home?
She has called the child, and we talked a couple times. Um, we both could not come on an agreement.
And as it relates to, give me just one second here. As it relates to the child, Francesca, that child is currently in school in Louisville with the other child here in this matter. Is that correct?
Correct. They both are attending schools local.
Okay. As it relates to the insurance, how are the children currently receiving insurance? Is it through the state or through your employer?
So as of right now, I did have Dominic on my Lowe's insurance, but I just
As the mother begins her testimony, we start hearing her version of events. According to her, the daughter is currently staying with the father because he took her and refused to return her. That's a serious claim in family court. However, notice something important. The mother also mentions that she didn't immediately pursue enforcement through the courts to get the child returned. In many custody cases, if one parent believes the other parent is violating a court order, the typical response is to file an enforcement motion or request police assistance through legal channels.
And based off of your current employment, sir, with a gross income of about $4,333.33, which is based off of you working at $25 an hour at 36 hours per week, the state will request that you pay a total of $390 per month if the children continue on state medical. Are you in agreement to pay that amount, sir?
I do not agree with that, because after this, it will be covered on me. I will have that 100% covered without no problems.
All right, sir. Do you know the costs associated with the children being covered through your employer?
I don't have a total cost of both of them combined. I just only have a cost for just me and Dominic at this point. As I was saying, I was waiting to this court date to move forward with getting them both covered.
So you don't know if the medical support would be higher or lower than the proposed amount of $390 for state medical?
Correct. I don't know, but it's since Lowe's is a large company, that most likely would be a lower fee than that. But I will most likely get that today.
All right, sir. The state has calculated that if the child was to be returned back to the mother, the child Francesca, that child support should be set at $893 per month. Are you in agreement to that amount, sir?
That was when the lady that before this phone call, she told me that that was a
Mr.
combination.
Mills, would you be in agreement to the $893 that's been proposed?
No,
What are you requesting that child support be set at, sir?
my goal is to get my kids, so I'm not expecting a child support.
And just to confirm, you're stating that your request is that child support be set at $0 and that the children continue to reside with you. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
And as it relates to the arrears, were you able to view the pay record that was presented to the court previously?
Yes.
And sir, on that pay record, according to what's been provided, the state has calculated that as of March 31st, 2024, that the child support arrears in this matter are at $15,924.47. Are you in agreement that those are the arrears that are currently owed?
I don't agree, but it is what it is. I know what the state told me I have to pay. So based off that, that is valid.
All right, sir. And As it relates to those arrears, you are requesting possession credits for the time frame to which the children were residing with you, which would be 6 months of credit. Is that correct?
This moment is particularly fascinating because the court circles back to the issue of child support again, even though the daughter is still staying with the father. The mother clarifies that she wants support when the child returns home, which suggests she's confident that custody will eventually shift back to her. But family courts often deal with situations where the child's preference, stability, and schooling become major factors. If the daughter is already attending school in the father's area and wants to finish the school year there, the judge may consider whether disrupting that arrangement is truly in the child's best interest.
Yes.
And as it relates to the conservatorship, are you in agreement to the parties being named as joint managing conservators?
I don't want joint.
Are you requesting that the mother be named as the sole managing conservator?
I want to be the sole managing conservator of both kids.
All right, sir. And are you in agreement to the mother having a standard visitation agreement with the child Dominic?
Yes.
And if the child Francesca is to be placed back with the mother, are you in agreement to the that you would have a standard visitation agreement with the child Francesca?
Of course. When it comes down to kids, yes, no matter what it is for them.
All right, just 1 second. And would you be in agreement to the pickup and drop off to take place at the Walmart located at 425 Court Road in Plano?
Wherever it is, yes, especially for the kids.
All right. And do you understand that the state is requesting that you pay the court costs associated with this matter today?
I do not agree with that.
And could you explain to the court why you're not in agreement to paying the court costs associated with this matter?
If we look at how things are for meals in the situation, I just been through a difficult process with paying all these fees, all telling me what I owe for my kids, and I have a majority of the time. And then on top of that, the fees is just, I don't see how I'd be able to live my life with that, to be honest.
And sir, as it relates to you stating that you having the children, do you understand that per your testimony today that you've only had the children for about the past 6 months? However, there are other additional fees that were associated with amounts to which you did not pay the child support as previously ordered.
I do understand what y'all have on paper, but Gina and myself know how often I get those kids every weekend and every holiday. That's not on paper.
And did the prior order provide that you should be able to visit with the children during that time frame, sir?
The court order told us that we can come up with our own arrangements. If we start to have problems, then we will go back to the court order documents. And that's what we have done up until this point.
And the child support that was previously calculated, sir, at $893 was if both children were to reside with the mother. And it's my understanding that you're not in agreement to that amount. Is that correct?
Correct.
And if just the one child, Miss Francesca, was to reside with the mother, the state will request that you pay child support in the amount of $542 per month. Would you be in agreement to that amount, sir?
I disagree with that as well.
All right. And then just to confirm, you are requesting that child support just be set at $0 and the children continue to reside with you. Is that correct?
Now we're hearing something that adds another layer to the story. The mother explains that she did contact the police, but they told her they couldn't intervene because there might be other custody agreements in place. This is actually very common in custody disputes. Police officers usually hesitate to get involved unless there's a clear court order being violated. Without that clarity, they often refer parents back to the family court system. What's interesting here is that the mother says she didn't want to escalate things further because she was worried about traumatizing the child. That shows an attempt to avoid conflict, but it also means the situation was allowed to continue for months without legal enforcement.
I wish I can show y'all guys these messages that I have. I would print them up if I have to. But she was supposed that I need to get them and stay out of her life. That's what I want today. If I need to pay Jack Pal support, she can have that. I just want my kids.
Okay. Nothing further from this party, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna make some changes here, but y'all don't have a very simple case, so it's gonna look a little unusual, I guess. But all right, so we're doing the parts y'all agreed to; those are fine. Which were, there's been no family violence within the last 2 years. Non-disclosures are continued, which I don't really understand, but that's something y'all agreed to. Y'all need to figure out how to communicate better. There's no reason probably for a non-disclosure at this time, but I'll go ahead and do that since y'all agreed to that. Um, I don't understand why there's no geographic restriction, but that's something you agreed to, so I'll leave that in. I'm ordering Mr. Mims to provide health insurance for both of the children immediately. I'm not ordering a medical support payment because the court order will get sent to your employer, and that'll be a life-changing event so that you can add the children, both of the children, on your insurance. Give a copy of the health insurance card to Mrs. Tedora so she can have it when the children are in her possession. Child support arrears after possession credits. And just let me just start here, I guess. I'm not if the children have either if only one of the two children have lived with the father, then there's no reason why child support should be paid for either one. Um, if that's the case. So I'm trying to do what's fair here. I'm doing a credit for him from the date that he had Dominic, because at that point y'all were splitting the two, and so it's really irrelevant as to when Francesca went to live with him, at least as far as the arrears are concerned, because y'all are splitting half and half, and neither one of you should have been paying each other at that point. So I'm trying to go back in time a little bit as best I can. So the judgment for child support arrears are $13,104.47. I'm ordering that to be paid at $200 a month.
Now the father finally gets the chance to explain his side of the story, and it's dramatically different from what we heard earlier. According to him, the daughter didn't simply get taken. She actually called him asking for help after experiencing serious stress at her mother's home. He describes picking her up from school after she had what he called a mental breakdown, and then asking her to write down what was happening before deciding whether she should return home. That's a powerful claim, because if the court believes the child was genuinely distressed or unsafe, it could heavily influence custody decisions.
That's what we got to do to fix that part. There's been no legal steps to get either of the children to go back with you, Miss Tedora. So I don't understand why you haven't done that. There are ways to get that done. You've chosen not to.
Yes, Your Honor.
That.
Please understand, I have a
I'm not
child with
asking.
disability.
I'm not asking. It's just a fact. You haven't filed anything. You can give me every excuse in the world, but there's been no legal steps taken. You said in your testimony you chose not to. So there hasn't been anything done as far as that concerned. So I've got to make some fixes here. Either way, if Mr. Mims has both of the children, or if he only has one of the children and Francesca goes back to live with mom, there shouldn't be any child support owed from either of you. So I'm stopping Mr. Mims' child support. I'm not ordering you, Mr. Dora, to pay child support at this time, but that's something we could explore again in the future with any future motions. Since we're kind of unsure what's going to happen with Francesca, then that's kind of why I'm doing that today. Otherwise, I would probably put Mr. Dora on child support. So if that's something you want to explore, you can. But it hasn't been 6 months as of today for Francesca. So, and it's pretty close on Dominic, but that's enough time at least for me to make these orders today. So I'm not doing any child support from either one of you. The children need to be with each other and they need to be with both of you. So we're doing visitation for the first and third weekends with mother. For both kids, they're going to go with Mr. Dora. And then both of the kids are going to go to father on the second and fourth weekend. So y'all are going to be splitting every other weekend with both of the kids so the kids can be together.
As this hearing reaches its final moments, it's clear that this case isn't just about numbers or paperwork. It's about two parents presenting very different stories about what's best for their children. The mother is asking the court to enforce the original custody arrangement and return the daughter home, along with establishing child support. Meanwhile, the father argues that the children are already living with him and that his primary goal is to keep them there and provide for them directly, rather than paying support. Situations like this highlight how complex family court can be.